DJ Fresh. I grown up so dija. And you will you. You bed him from a sampa. It's all about the buff magician of the hero. Ow! Inky Kemu. Hibba. Baby. Abo Fraba. Get it? Huh? I can't stand it. Muntumijina. Hibba. I feel good. Menya Honka. Awesome there. Good God. Nyami Papa. Hey, I'm about a sex machine. I don't know. Surukude na warenyim. Sex machine. I don't know. Surukude na warenyim. Besia na soyera APC. Samokwajibu. Benyi na soyera codeine. Heba. And say so brother na soyera warenyim. Samokwajibu. Besia na soyera APC. Samokwajibu. Benyi na soyera codeine. Heba. And say so brother na soyera warenyim. Hey, in charity, if we are Kakam, in charity, Aquacakam, in charity, if we are Kahai, in Charono, if we are Coco. Some armaments are somewhere to the more tune on the radio. There's some armaments are somewhere to the marking count that traffic. There's some armaments are somewhere to the man who there for food. Some armaments are somewhere, bad day, the master contact.
Fresh in here. Me no back room. Me no back room. Me no back room. Me no back room. Yeah, yeah. Me no back room. Me no back room. Me no back room. Yeah, yeah. And you are my guess, I can say ya. Some shasha, not me, yeah, no better.
So we're live here, LUDWIG Jr. Right on GN Radio. You know, it's a festive season and there are many people who are traveling in and out of the country. Some are traveling for amazing reasons and some unfortunately are traveling for reasons that are not things that you like to wish on people during the festive season. One of the things that we talk about right here on the show is of course having to make sure that we are aware of what's happening in the community. And in making sure that we are aware of what's happening in the community, some of the things that we have to do is to make sure we bring you information which is going to benefit you and your loved ones. Okay, so to motivate people to take an action to improve their lives and start making small, simple changes to lose weight if they are overweight. Because at the end of the day, what we need to remember is that after the year that we've had, many of us are carrying an extra few lockdown pounds. The extra weight can put strain on our bodies. But now is the time to get started, to get shopping smarter, eating better, and moving more. Small, simple changes to what and how much you are eating, drinking can make all the difference. Better Health has lots of free tips and tools that can help you lose weight and get active. This includes apps to help you move more, help you cook tastier, healthier meals, and a 12-week NHS weight loss app to help you start healthier eating habits, to be more active and start losing weight 1 week at a time. So for free help and support to lose weight, search Better Health. Better Health, let's do this, okay? So there's Better Health, and also something that we have been championing right here on the station is, of course, making sure that if you have not had your vaccine, you've had your vaccine. You know, we're championing that because there are many, many people in our communities who are not taking their vaccines. And all we want to say to you is that, listen, hello, listeners, listen, winter is here. Winter is here. It is much colder outside. Even though today it's a little bit warmer, it is much colder outside. But as we're spending more time together, as we're spending more time indoors, the risk of spreading COVID-19 to friends and family is increased. And we want people to do the right thing. For lots of people, taking time off work can be difficult. Catching COVID-19 means that you might have to take time off work to isolate and recover from any illness. Millions of people are already protected from illness by getting both doses of the COVID-19 vax. And for those who do that, there are generally mild side effects that don't last no more than 24 hours, okay? It is not too late if you have not had your first, second, or booster. Book today at nhs.uk/COVID vaccination. That's nhs.uk/COVID vaccination. Okay, so make sure you have those vaccinations done up. Also, we have a campaign that we have been pushing all year round, and one of the things that we want to say is that, look, we need black donors. We need black donors. The NHS needs 16,000 more blood donors from black heritage. There are 300 babies born each year, and each of these babies have blood genetic disorders affecting people from the black heritage. There are 15,000 sickle cell patients in the UK, many of whom rely on regular blood donations and blood transfusion. Blood transfusion help to prevent or relieve the painful symptoms and complications. Sickle cell disorder is inherited from both parents. Sickle cell trait is inherited from one parent. You can give blood if you have sickle cell trait. You just have to let the staff member know when you arrive at the blood donations stations. Now, most people can give blood if they are fit and healthy, aged between 17 and 66. You can give blood if you have sickle cell trait. Okay. Now it's very easy to give blood. Giving blood is easy. You can save up to 3 lives in 1 hour when you donate blood. All you have to do is to make sure you go to blood.co.uk. They have also put in extra measures. Okay, so there is a self-assessment form before you attend to check for coronavirus risk. The spaces are bigger, and it has bigger spaces between chairs. They do temperature checks before you get to the place. There's extra cleaning. They've increased hand washing. And also there's hand gels for donors to use. Okay, so all you have to do is go to blood.co.uk to make sure you register or check them more information before you do that. The last information I've got to give to you is organ donation. Okay, now organ donation is something that many people are happy to do, but what happens is that when people do organ donation, sometimes they don't tell their families. Okay, and it is still a choice. 9 in 10 families support organ donation going ahead if they know what their loved ones have chose. We need more people from Black, Asian, mixed ethnic, and minority groups to be doing donation. On average, Asian patients wait up to 6 months, okay, for organ donation, and also Black patients wait up to 12 months or longer than white people who need kidney transplant. Okay, donation rate for the BME groups are much lower than white people. Family refusal is one of the biggest obstacles to organ donation amongst the BAME community. The consent rate for families for BAME potential donors is much lower than for white potential donors. Organs are matched by blood group and tissue types. For people from the same ethnic background are more likely to be suitable match. There are myths and barriers to organ donations, and which are prevalent in the Black community. And transplant is not always secure. However, they can extend or improve the quality of life. Okay, so for more information, go to organdonation.nhs.uk, organdonation.nhs.uk, and find out more. Okay, so we have organdonation.nhs.uk. We also have blood.co.uk, and we have coronavirus information as well. And we need to check all those stuff out to make sure that we are fully aware of what's happening in our community. Let's educate ourselves and let's take it from there. Okay, now in about literally 3 minutes, I'm going to have a guest on our show for Diaspora Insurance from Mr. Jeff. Mr. Jeff will be joining me very, very shortly. So we're going to go and play one commercial break, come back on the other side, and we're going to be speaking to Mr. Jeff, who is going to be joining us today right here on GN Radio, and then I'll be speaking to you from the other side. Okay. So, as I said to you guys earlier on, I'm going to bring Mr. Jeff from Diaspora Insurance to come and have a conversation with us. Incidentally, Mr. Jeff, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Amazing. I'm calling you Mr. Jeff because this is the first time we've met, but I want people to know the full name, the full name.
My name is Jeff Madzingo. I'm the CEO for Diaspora Insurance.
Okay, Jeff Madzingo.
Yeah.
That's an amazing name. Where's that name come from?
Originally Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe. Okay, listen, after this interview, no, not even after this interview, you have to take me to Zimbabwe, man, because I need to eat some Zimbabwe food, This is what I think, and even if it goes well next year, December, we're all going to take GN Radio to Zimbabwe. Welcome to the show, Mr. Jeff. Okay, Mandinga.
Thank you so much. Thank you, and thank you to the listeners for tuning in.
Fantastic. Now, Mr. Jeff from Diaspora Insurance, you've got an amazing, fantastic product that you feel that people who are away from home, as the name suggests, diaspora, can benefit from. And I think this sounds quite unique. So tell us a bit more about the Diaspora Insurance.
Yeah. Thank you for the opportunity. And like I said, I'm originally from Zimbabwe, which makes me a diasporan as well. And I will take you to Zimbabwe at some point. I rarely go myself, but I will take you there.
we will make it happen.
Yeah, sure.
So Diaspora Insurance.
Yeah, Diaspora Insurance like I said, I'm the CEO for Diaspora Insurance, and I will be talking about how the cover works. Basically, Diaspora Insurance is an insurance company, and it's been operating for more than 10 years now.
Okay.
And like in the name Diaspora, it's an insurance company which focuses on bridging the gap in terms of the needs for the diasporans and their insurance protection. So it matches that and make sure that you get the correct cover for yourselves as diasporans, as transnational citizens. Because what tends to happen most of the times in these mass markets like the UK, America, Canada, is that insurance products tend to focus on the mass market rather than focusing on the niche markets for transnational citizens. Transnational citizens meaning diasporans, people who belong to more than one society, more than one nation. So that's the way the diaspora insurance comes in. So we specialize in creating solutions, risk management, and insurance solutions for the diasporans.
Okay. That sounds very simple and complex at the same time. So basically, you've identified that there are people who are away from home, diasporans, who needs cover for various things. And like you said, Diaspora Insurance is a global company that provides insurance products and services to African nationals in the diaspora. So how does the policies able to meet the different nationalities?
Yeah, the policy is structured as a global policy, and what we focus is we focus on the diasporans who live in different markets. So diasporans who live in the UK, who live in Australia, who live in Canada, USA, Ghanaians who live abroad, basically. So what you find is that you got a conundrum where you got yourself in the diaspora, maybe with part of your nucleus family. You may have brothers and sisters back home.
That's
but
correct.
Because in most conservative societies or family-oriented societies like African societies, you find that the diasporan becomes the breadwinner for the clan.
That's correct.
And God forbid something was to happen, say to a brother or sister or uncle or parent back home, people expect you to chip in and you finance the send-off, irrespective of whether you are settled in the diaspora or not. The assumption is that you are in the UK, therefore you've got the money.
That's correct.
The assumption is that you are in New York, so you've got more money than someone who is in Accra, which is not always the case. But we have to pick up the challenge and rise up to the occasion and find a way of supporting families back home.
And it's interesting you say that, because the perception that people have is that because you are in New York, you know, everything's okay, but someone's in Accra and they're driving a Range Rover and you're taking the metro station, you know, because you've got bespoke diaspora funeral cash plans that allows Ghanaians in the diaspora to cover themselves, and in addition they can cover their loved ones back home in Ghana on the same policy. And I know that one of the policies that you have ranges from £2,500 to £20,000. So for such a cover, I mean, how would that work?
Yeah, basically the way it's structured is very simple. The diaspora funeral cash plan is a bespoke product, and it's a household name in most of the diaspora markets where we've been distributing the cover. It's structured as a guaranteed acceptance policy, which means everyone would qualify as long as you are from a qualifying country, of which Ghana is one of the qualifying countries. So Ghanaians, wherever they are in the world, they qualify to be covered on this policy. And we structured the cover as a guaranteed acceptance policy for a simple reason, to differentiate it from your traditional life cover. Because traditional life cover tends to be medically underwritten on application and on claim. But with the diaspora funeral cash plan being a no medicals policy, what it means is that in the event of a claim, we then don't waste time writing your GP, writing the hospital, asking for medical history, asking for medical cause of death, asking for all sorts of historical details about someone's or family medical history. All we need is proof of death, and the monies are paid out immediately.
Okay.
So it's guaranteed acceptance so that we pay out immediately, because the whole essence of the cover is to give families immediate financial intervention in the situation of bereavement. Because to lose someone is traumatic enough. To then be faced with a situation where you have lost someone and you are suddenly reduced to a beggar, it can be very, very, it's a double trauma if it happens that way. But we see a lot of families being caught up in situations of bereavement. There's no money for burial, and you end up having to beg for money. I will explain why we do the cover as a cash cover. Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, just to reiterate on your point, so the Diaspora Funeral Cash Plan comes in as a guaranteed acceptance policy that pays out cash up to £20,000 immediately upon claim to meet all funeral expenses. And I think I like the thing that you said about no more begging and grieving, and even people going as far as setting up, GoFund or something for funerals. And what you're trying to say is that there is an easier way of doing that. And just
Correct,
if we can go a bit more into it in terms of the cover. I know we talk about the range and up to. So the range ranges from £2,500 to £20,000. So how much is it per month, for example? Is it?
It's a very good question. I'll touch on the issues of premium, but also critically on the same point, the issue that is very important is, why do we pay cash? Why do we pay cash instead of just providing a service? Because traditionally, funeral insurance is extended to be structured as a goods and services policy. To say, if you come to pass, we'll come and collect the body either from the mortuary, arrange for the funeral, then you do the burial itself. But we moved away from that traditional structuring, because the traditional structuring of funeral insurance was informed by certain things, and mainly the assumption that people live locally, people die locally, and people get buried locally. But we now live in a world where quite a lot of us, especially diasporans, we are transnational. We belong to more than one nation. We belong to more than one society. So our location is not fixed, and our choices over time is also not fixed. So the idea of giving people a cash policy is to make sure that it works in any circumstance. It may be that as I speak to you now, as a diasporan, I still have got very strong family ties back home.
That's correct.
Say I still have got my family in Accra. I want to be, if I come to pass, I want to be taken to be buried in Ghana. But over the long term, if you start losing people who matter to you back home in Ghana, you find yourself saying, oh, my children are here. I'm now a grandparent. I'm in London. I may as well be buried in UK, where my nucleus or immediate family is, because your parents, your brothers and sisters, you may have outlived them back home in the country of origin. So you want a policy that can switch from being able to take you home, giving you a dignified send-off, a policy that can switch to being to be used for your burial offshore in your new country of residence. So that's the essence of a cash cover, to say that people's location, people's choices are not fixed. Therefore, you want a policy that is equally versatile to be able to cover for any circumstance, should you wish to change your choices or your preferences over time. In terms of the premium that people pay for the cover, there are two main things that affect your premium. Once you do the risk profiling for each country, like in this case, if we do the risky mortality, consider the mortality rates and everything for Ghana, you then come up with the premiums that Ghanaians pay. And the premiums are based on two things: the amount of cover that you choose and the age of the person.
Okay.
So those are the two things that will affect your premium: amount of cover and the age of the person.
Okay. So what is the cutoff age?
We do have a cutoff age for a simple reason that this is a cash cover coming as a guaranteed acceptance policy. And normally such policies would cover people who are still working age up to age of 65. But us being a policy that seeks to intervene and give the wider community a solution, and also treating our customers fairly, we did increase our cutoff age to allow as high as 7, as long as someone is under 75 at the point of joining. You can join, they can be put on the cover on a guaranteed acceptance basis.
Okay,
So age of any Ghanaian under 75 qualifies to be covered. No medical question.
Okay, so any Ghanaian under 75 qualifies to cover. The number for yourself is 0770 3838 That's 0770 3838 and you can also be found on diasporainsurance.com/GN radio or diasporainsurance.com anyway. But for the purpose of this show, diasporainsurance.com/GN radio, and the number is 0770 3838 So and I think that answers the first question I asked, which is, how are you able to meet all the different obligations of different countries? And you can do that because it is a cash cover, and it's
Correct.
not a service provider where you now have to have the logistics in 54 different countries in Africa and even in Ghana. If we focus on Ghana, 50 different regions in Ghana where you need to provide goods and services. But what you are doing is that you're saying, hey, we're going to have a cash sum ready for you for your claim, so that you can decide how best you want to do it, because you are the expert in what you want to do for your loved ones. And also,
correct. The key point really is that once cash is king, as the saying goes, cash is king. Once you've got cash, everything everything falls into line basically. And because if you consider someone in Ghana, someone in UK, someone maybe you relocate from UK to Australia, wherever you end up going, as long as you have got cash, you can pay for your send-off easily.
Okay, and also Diaspora Insurance is authorized and regulated by the FCA Financial Conduct Authority. Now, what is the feedback like in terms of, when you speak to Ghanaians about your product? Is this something that you feel that has been missing in the community, and people are embracing it because now they know with your service they can have a bit of peace of mind?
The feedback is very, very positive, because this cover has been going on for quite some time. We've paid in claims over 3 million in settled claims. So it's a cover that has been tried and tested in other markets. So it's a very, very strong cover. And the fact that it's that flexible, it intervenes when you need cash most. And also the issue with the cash also that besides being flexible in terms of using the money for anything, you can also consider the fact that when you have a bereavement, especially if you are diasporan, there will be a lot of other costs like family travel, memorial service, food, church service, flowers, photography. After the funeral itself, even the most disorganized family would have a family meeting to say, when do we do memorial? Who is going to pay for the memorial?
That's correct, yeah.
Then after the memorial, you want to sort out things like tombstone and stuff. Who is going to pay for that? If you are diaspora, you may find yourself with 2-3 trips back home. If it's, say, you have lost a parent back home, so you need cash to be paying for all those things.
That's correct.
Because when there's a double cost. When you are dealing with a funeral, you are also not able to work. And most people who are, working agents work, it means you're also not earning. So you need cash to be covering those gaps. So the product has been received very, very positively, which is very encouraging, because it's a product that speaks to the needs of the people. It's a product that is suitable for our situations as transnational citizens.
I think that's amazing. If you're watching this online as well, don't forget, if you look on the screen, you can see the QR code where it says "Scanned Me," and when you scan the code, Jeff, where does it take you to?
It takes you to a very simple form where you just fill in, and our call center will be able to reach out and advise you more, and you answer any questions that you may have that are personal. And then you can get your quotations and you can make your decision. You can easily be set up on the call. So it's a very simple process to set up. Why? Because it's a guaranteed acceptance policy. So we don't start asking people, what is your height, what is your weight, what is your medical history, this and that. We don't need all that information. We don't even want to know your GP. It's a guaranteed acceptance policy. So it's a very simple process to onboard. So you can easily have your cover for yourself and your loved ones.
So in the 10 years that Diaspora Insurance has existed and provided payments up to £3 million, what are some of the questions that people were were not comfortable with, and that you had to answer when you spoke to them the first time they come, before they come on board?
I think it's the main things that people need to know, especially, is that is the cover regulated? Who is the regulator? I will explain the issue of regulation because it's very important. An average consumer may not have the financial capacity, may not have the expertise or the resources to fully do a due diligence, fit and proper assessment on a service provider to say, should I take the cover or should I not take the cover? The regulator then fills in that gap. So the regulation, we welcome regulation very much because they play a very significant role in making sure that customers are treated fairly, in making sure that service providers, especially a policy like the insurance policy, which deals with cash, is run properly, and it passes through the fit and test assessments, the due diligence. So the regulator becomes very key there. So most people who coming onto the cover, they want to know who is the regulator. If you are not regulated, it means you become just like another mutual assistance scheme, or what sometimes are called burial societies, where people just help each other. Okay. This is not a burial society or mutual assistance scheme where people help each other in a very informal manner, where the treasurer can disappear with the bag of money. With this cover, it's properly regulated by the FCA. Not only that, being regulated by the FCA as an insurance company, it also means that your cover is protected under what is called the UK Financial Compensation Scheme.
Okay. So that's up to £85,000, isn't it? Or is it 75,000?
Yeah, that's the same scheme that protects bank accounts. So the diaspora insurance is also protected under the UK Financial Compensation Scheme. So that's the main question that people who are onboarding would want reassurance that the cover is regulated. Because once you clear regulation, it means the checks and balances, the due diligence, the fit and proper assessments, how you treat your customers, does your cover speak to the needs of the customers? All those things are assessed by the regulator, and you are then said you are licensed to provide the cover.
So last question, Jeff. Do you have to just live in the UK to take this cover, or is it available to anybody worldwide?
The cover is available to anyone, anywhere in the world. All you need to be is to be in this case where we are talking on the Ghanaian radio. All you need to be is to be Ghanaian.
Okay.
Yeah. Wherever you are in the world, you could be listening from Australia, you could be listening from USA, Canada, you could be listening from Ghana. You can take the cover. It's available on a guaranteed acceptance policy. As a guaranteed acceptance policy, we underwrite this cover in hard currency, US dollars, UK sterling pounds. So it's a cover that is very strong going forward in terms of currency volatility, because it's a long-term cover. We all want to live forever, but at some point will come to pass, but we don't know when we will come to pass. But what we want for real is to make sure that your cover is strong enough for you when you come to pass, to guarantee you a dignified send-off. That's why we keep the cover as a hard currency, because long term, the value of the cover is not eroded through currency volatility or through inflationary loss of value. So
question.
Anyone worldwide can take the cover.
Last question. Can somebody who's not Ghanaian take the policy for somebody who is Ghanaian?
It depends on the relationship of the two.
Okay.
There are quite a number of countries that we do cover. In Africa, if you go on our website, we have got a list on diasporainsurance.com. You can see a list of what we call qualifying countries.
Okay.
So we are adding countries as we go along. At the moment, we are covering 13 African countries.
Okay.
And back to your question, a situation can be that a Ghanaian is married to a non-Ghanaian. Say a Ghanaian is married to, say, Nigerian, or say to a South African. Through that marriage, it means that you can cover. Or a Ghanaian is married to a British person. Because they are married to a Ghanaian who qualifies, then they qualify to be covered.
Okay.
Yeah. So as long as you are married to someone who is from a qualifying country, you then qualify to be covered through marriage. But otherwise, if you are Ghanaian, wherever you are in the world, you can cover yourself.
Fantastic. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Jeff Madzingo. Do you have any last words that you want to leave us with?
Yeah. We just wanted to also encourage the wider community that we are going through a very difficult time of pandemic, and it's important that we observe the rules. And for those with family and friends who are in hospital, we wish them quick recovery. Those who are affected by the pandemic, we also wish them quick recovery. And for those who have lost their loved ones, we say, may they rest in peace and be strong. We need to work as a community to support each other, and will always be there to support communities. Those who are arranging, say they have events, we are willing to participate at different events as sponsors. We were at the Ghanaian Londoners networking event last week.
I saw you there.
Sponsor. So we work with
I saw you at the previous event.
Sorry, come again.
I saw you at the previous event, not this one, the one in November.
Yeah, we did attend the one in London.
I was hosting that show.
You were there?
I was hosting it.
Oh, were you at the actual event?
Yeah, the one in November.
No, the November one, yes. Then there was a Christmas one.
Yeah, not at the Christmas one, but the November one. I was hosting the November one, and I'm sure you guys came there.
Yeah, we were there.
Yeah, I was hosting that show.
My colleague, Dr. Sibet Mandega, was there, but the one for Christmas, which happened.
You went to that one?
Before last, yeah.
Okay.
We were both there at the event, yeah.
Because I knew.
We work with different community groups. We work with different. Both our position is that the product we offer is a community product.
That's correct.
We want to work with the different communities, support different community initiatives, because a community that is disorganized is voiceless, and we find strength in our voice by coming together. So we wanted to support all community initiatives, including community radios like you guys. So we are here to support everyone.
No problem. Thanks for speaking to you. I shall give you a call, and we shall speak a bit more. Mr. Jeff, thank you for speaking to us on DGN Radio. Thank you very much. That's Mr. Jeff. Like as he said, community products for community members who want diaspora insurance, especially funeral plans. We're looking at cash covers, so we're starting from £2,500, and it pays cash all the way up to $20,000. The number that you need to call is 0770 3838 One more time, 0770 3838 or you can go to www.diasporainsurance.com. That's www.diasporainsurance.com or www.diasporainsurance.com/GN Radio. Either of those will get you to Diaspora Insurance, and you can speak to Jeff and his team. Or failing that, you can call us on 0203-735-8820, and we can give you some more information. Mr. Jeff is going to be with us, in different shows and different platforms. So stay tuned, stay locked, and you will know when he's with us. But until next time, Mr. Jeff, thanks for speaking to you. Listen, I'm going to call you myself, and we can discuss some more stuff. Okay, so Ludwig Nee Jr. here, no problem.
Thank you so much to the listeners, and we will be in touch, and we'll be getting engaging again. Thank you so much for your time.
No problem.
And have a good weekend. Keep safe.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, bye-bye. So we have we now have Mr. Roski. Mr. Roski's in the building. So obviously today we only have one football match, as I understand. I think there's only one Premiership match, but he's still here, and he's going to let you know what's happening in the community. Until then, my name is Ludwig Nee Jr. I've got literally 2 minutes, and the clock is running down. 2 minutes and 10 seconds to go. So I'm going to leave you with some hot high life, and see you next week.
It's to make you move your body. It's to make you groove your body. To make you rock your body. I want to sing.
DJ Fresh. Specialist Crew presents Pure Old School, mixed by the international DJ Soa. For further information, please contact bookings at specialistcrew.co.uk.